Okay, I have to have a few corrections made to this video on the Springfield Armory 1911-A1. Springfield still does manufacture this pistol, okay? You can get a Parkerized version of this gun almost identical to this after all these years. They still have it under their military category or that. They make a whole bunch of different variations of the 1911 pistol. They still do. Where I was getting confused is with the P9, which is this here. This is the gun that was discontinued, and normally the only guns I see from Springfield are the polymer guns. I know they made the 1911s. You don't see them that much. Basically you have to have people looking for them. I think the base price on this model here currently, if you got it new, was like $600, which is about right. And I was confused with the P9. This is the gun I had that was no longer, it was discontinued, it's no longer manufactured. So please excuse me, I'm not going to scrap the whole video because of that, because it's tied into my other one on that SDS gun. And I took them both out to the range and shot them. So I'm not going to can the video, even though it was full of mistakes in that. Please excuse me. And remember, subscribe if you like what you see. And if you can, support the channel. There are links for a couple different ways you can send some support. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to look at another, this is an older pistol. This is the Springfield Armory 1911-A1. I purchased this gun over 30 years ago. Now, this was at a time, Springfield Armory was a government armory, and when it closed sometime in the late 60s, an individual bought and purchased the rights to use the name and the symbol, but you can't really quite see it on here. And they also became the people who ended up manufacturing the M1A, or the civilian copy of the M14, which they still do to this day. In the beginning, they offered some pistols, the 1911 and then a P9. I may review that. And basically that was a copy of the CZ75 9mm high capacity magazine. Both of these pistols are no longer manufactured. Now, I can't remember if this gun was made in the United States or not, but it was an interesting gun. I can't say it was a budget gun. I can say it was competitively priced at the time as compared to other manufacturers of the 1911. And the thing I liked about it is it was offered in a Parkerized finish, so it gave you that military flair. And being a military gun collector, I kind of like this better than like a Colt Gold Cup or something. And I wasn't going to compete. I just wanted a stock 45 that was in pretty good shape, or actually new. That was the thing. It was a brand new gun. I wasn't paying like 50 or 100 less for a surplus gun with, you know, use or questionable function. I wanted to kind of go the route, and I had the money and purchased it. And basically, it's your basic 1911, controls, everything is the same, single action, half-cocked, safety on one side, Parkerized finish. But this pistol had a few extra features. One is the sights. The sights, as you see, are a bit larger, taller. They call them high visibility sights. And it had a 3-dot system in there. The forward dot, it's kind of hard to see, but it was a 3-dot high visibility sights, which was one feature that was not standard or military. And also it had a beveled magazine well, which was kind of a custom feature. You know, you'd have to have that machined in there, that bevel in there by a gunsmith or pistol smith. Now, I do remember when I got this gun, I had some problems with it. I don't know if I was using just my reloads or factory rounds, but it didn't function 100% correct. So I did what they first said. The first thing I did is I replaced the recoil spring, firing pin spring, and I may have even put an enhanced firing pin, titanium or something. Competitors like that because the speed, I guess it increases a few milliseconds on the action of the gun. And I did that first. That alleviated some of my malfunctions. I was having trouble with it malfunctioning. The gun was not as tight as this last one I reviewed, this SDS. This gun is tight. This one was not. This one had a little bit of play, which I've taken out. There's zero play side to side and very little play up and down. And I think that's from wear because this gun has had over 5,000 rounds fired through it over the years. I did some pistol smithing tricks and tightened up the slide in that. I did, in the other video, I had this gun disassembled. I put, I guess it's an oversized or extended ejector block in there and did some other things. But I believe once you do that, you're supposed to open up the ejection port in the slide, which I never did. So this gun will kind of tear up brass every now and then. It gets caught in the slide and kicks out and does cause some jams sometime. Also, this pistol has a standard throat in the barrel where it comes to the feed ramp and that. I may have polished it at one time and touched it up, but I never opened up the throat. Where this pistol here, this SDS, the one strange thing about it is there are no custom features other than the throat is wide open, which that would have been a custom job that a pistol smith would have had to do 30 years ago. Nobody made a pistol with a wide open throat like that stock. Unless you got, well, if you go into custom guns, you can have it made, but now you're talking back, even back then, the gun would be over $1,000. So Springfield made these for a while. Why they discontinued them, I don't know. Also at the time, the Chinese were marketing a plain Jane 45 ACP before they slammed the door shut on them from importing their weapons into the US anymore. I was going to get the Chinese pistol because it was less expensive than this one. It was almost like, I think, an even $300, and that's back in the early 90s or whatever. And the one thing about this gun, which is different if you'd look, and this one here, is this has the correct, and the grip safety, this beaver tail is what should be on the 1911. If you look, this hammer doesn't come down as close in this area here, and this is longer than this one here. This has like the 1911 size, or if you look side by side, I think you can see that this one sticks out farther. I don't get hammer bite with this pistol, or I do with this one. Like I said on this one here, it's the only thing I don't like about it. But other than that, that's a review of an old gun. They are discontinued. Springfield, well, I think Springfield does make a 45, but I don't know if they make them in the Parkerized thing anymore. I think Springfield, their M1911s are out of their custom shop. I have to take that back. I don't really know. I know the P9 is no longer made or discontinued, and I don't know if this model is still made or if it's discontinued or not. But it is an older gun. I know their line actually goes more to the polymer frame guns, and if they're still making M1911-A1s, they're on a custom level or custom order type of deal, and rather pricey. So that's my review of this old gun. It's one I had there so you understand what I'm comparing with. And I took this out to the range and ran it side by side with this gun here, just for the effects. And I will show you the range videos on these two pistols here coming up next.